So
Nice.
from
Live from Memorex here. live. Yeah, isn't that the way they used to say it? Live from Memorex or live on Memorex or something like that. Way back when there was cassette tapes. Hey, everybody! Welcome to the Wholesale Real Estate Investing Show, number 247 by SAHA. Yours truly here, Paul Romero and John Leister, owners of SellAHouseArizona.com. And this is Wisdom Wednesday, April 13th, 2016. I want to say welcome to everybody, wholesale real estate investors, real estate related, anybody's, whoever's here, and especially those of you who are thinking that you want to get involved and get started and do some wholesale, or especially wholesale, but some real estate investing. Come to the right place. This is the right show. This is where you find the inside story that no one else is willing to tell, whether you like it or not. And trust me, some of you ain't gonna like it. So, hey, I'm just being straight with you. That's the way it is. I'm Paul. I'm here in Phoenix, hanging out. And John, where are you hanging out from?
I am hanging out from beautiful Phoenix, Arizona on a lovely morning. I've already had the opportunity to go and look at a for sure deal, be locking it up today with a partner and working on some insurance and helping these people out of a fire damage situation. So pretty awesome start to the morning here in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's unfortunate for those folks that something like that happened, but it is fortunate for them that they called the right people who have the right connections, who can help them to make the best of this situation that is going to follow up and do something good for them. So today's show is all about just kind of that education and learning and knowing the different kinds of ways that you can help someone. Obviously, what we just talked about there has a lot to do with the relationships that you build, which is one of the things we always talk about, real estate equaling relationships. And, I'm not saying that we are the guys who are the ones that are going to help these people 100%. We're going to help them with a portion of it, but one of our contacts, one of our associates that, we've worked with before and that we know what he does and how he works his system and the things that he can do, that he can bring to the table to work on this deal together and let everybody make some money out of this deal. Otherwise, I mean, we could make these people an offer and boom, that's it, we're done. And they might take it, they might not. Somebody else might make him a better offer, who knows? And if our buddy was to catch wind of this deal somehow, because he's got his radar on these kinds of deals, he might come swooping in here, give these people a better option, and we lose out on the deal altogether. So as long as we got it in our hands, may as well bring him in, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. It's like one of the awesome things about real estate and us always talking about real estate being about real relationships, is that who the local people are. And, rather than there's a lot of deals out there and you're not going to get every single one, but you want to get as many as you can. And sometimes in order to get more deals, you're going to need to collaborate with other wholesalers, other investors, people with more knowledge. And that's just the nature of it. So like Paul said, rather than go in here with a little expertise on fire damage and insurance negotiation, why not go to the top guy here in the Valley that does this as his primary niche in the market and team up with him rather than him finding this fire damage house and trying to battle us for the deal.
As the saying goes, it's better to have a little bit of something than all of nothing. I mean, really, seriously, why not? So, like I said, getting back into the education now, I mean, there's a whole other niche right there that our associate here is versed in. And, we specialize in a whole niche in wholesaling and attracting or getting certain types of deals. And these are, two different arenas. Now, I don't want to go out and have to learn everything that he knows. Why would I want to do that? I've already spent 4 years learning everything that we know. And of course, still learning and growing and looking for more always, because that's what you have to do in this business. You got to always keep ahead and stay ahead and look ahead at what's coming down the road, because as you know, real estate's an ever-changing world, and what works today may not work tomorrow. So you always have to be looking at tomorrow, at day after tomorrow, to see what's coming so you can be ready for tomorrow. And you know, obviously one of the things is continued education. So let me see a show of hands. How many of you have ever been to the back of the room? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, we're coming to your town. We're looking for a few highly motivated people who want to join our team. Come down and see us this weekend. Yada, 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 blah, blah. And then you get there and, you know, they put on this big old pitch and sales program there for you. And they get you to sign up for, that's like a 2-hour. Come down on this day, boom, boom. It's like a 2-hour thing. Boom, give you the quick pitch, 2-hour pitch, right? To get you to pay, just a couple $100. Not a big deal, right? A couple $100. Join us for a whole weekend. Education and knowledge and everything you need to invest in real estate. And then you show up for the whole weekend. You pay your few $100 and you show up for the whole weekend. And guess what? Now we got all the other stuff that you really need. For how much do you have in your wallet? How many of you have ever been to the back of the room?
I've been to the back of those rooms.
Yeah, so have I.
And you know what? I have gotten value out of going to the back of those rooms. Not always.
Well, I'm not putting it down. Because there is value in there. There is education in there. There is information in there that is going to be helpful to you. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you spend, whether it's a few $100 on the weekend or whether it's the big package, during the weekend, whether it's the base package at $2,000, or if it's the maximum package at $60,000, whatever it is that you spend, ain't none of it going to be worth a damn if you don't do something with it. That's the bottom line. It all comes down to you actually doing something with this stuff. And the guys know it. That's why they do it. They know that they're going to sell X amount of stuff to X amount of people, and only a percentage this big is actually going to do anything with it. The rest of them are going to go to the next guy's, hey, we're coming to town event. And they're going to spend money with him too. And then they're not going to do anything with his either. And then the next guy that comes to town, they're going to go to his too. And they're going to spend money with him too. And that's what, that's what people know. But if you really, really want to do this, you just got to freaking do it. That's what it comes down to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Really? You've got nothing to say on that subject? I'm surprised at that. So where am I going with all this? Let me see a show of hands. How many of you have ever been to the back of the room? There's, in tying it back into the real estate equals relationships thing, there is education available out there that isn't programmed to, give you information and leave it all up on you to make things happen. There is actual education out there that is, give it all to you, but also too with support, with and I know you get support with the other stuff. You get the the phone call once a week, and the 1-hour mastermind session at the end of the month, and the weekly webinar series where you can ask questions, and you get all that stuff. But I'm talking about support that's live. That's another human body that's actually working side by side with you to make things happen, to help you go. That's real That's real mentorship that is going to actually help you to get somewhere. Reason why I kind of bring all this up is that um, our program, our Property Noodler program that we have developed here, which is an educational system for learning wholesaling, and while doing and earning at the same time, with live support, so to speak. We sort of had, starting this up, we had a little beta test group of about 12 people. And now we're getting people that are still wanting to, join the team and join the organization and learn, wholesaling through our program. And we've put a price on it now. It's no longer free. People have to pay. It's not a huge amount. We're only asking for $2,000, and it's not, in actuality, it's not $2,000 you're paying us just for that. What we're requiring people to do is pay $2,000 for an educational program that is not just education. It also includes a community of other active doing investors, lenders, whatever, everything real estate, an active community of people that you can plug into and not only have the mentorship of, joining our team and learning how to wholesale, but also have the educational part of, everything that's offered there, and also have real live people that you can go to, you can communicate with, you can get help from, et cetera, and so on. So we're not even really asking for money to join our team. We're requiring that people make a commitment to their real estate investing career. It's pretty much how we structured this. So they make an investment in themselves, and we'll say, okay, you can join our team now.
Well, that's what it's all about. We've had a lot of team members over the year since we started this, that if someone comes to me and says, yeah, I'd like to try out wholesaling. Oh, I can get into this for free. I'll give it a try. You know what? It's no longer free, and I no longer want to let people into it that say they want to try, because usually try is a very weak word. You either want to do this and you're going to do it, or you're not going to do it. There is no try. There's only do. That's a saying by a famous Jedi named Yoda. It's true, though. If people are given an opportunity that they're not paying for, they're not going to have as much respect for that opportunity as for something that they paid for, right? And we've realized with our system that we have here over the last year, offering it to people, bringing them into the team that want to try it, most of them don't stick with it. Most of them don't understand or really even respect the opportunity that they've been given. And I bring that up because I think it's important just to stress on what Paul was just talking about right there, about the commitment, about we only want to work with people who work on themselves, because it really comes down to more than just the real estate portion of doing this business. It comes down to you. Do you really have a passion for it? Do you have a passion about everything? Do you have a purpose? Do you have a strong why? Why do you want to do real estate? Just to do real estate? Or is there some other intention? Or is this a means to an end? I like to work with people that have those sort of drives, that sort of mentality to build themselves, because it takes a warrior to do this business. So you got to be willing to work on yourself if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've told you guys my story before, but I went so far as to, after working so hard to save myself my ass from foreclosure on my home, and starting in this real estate thing, and having a lot of ups and downs, and nothing happening really, going all in by really stopping the payments on my house once again, and literally placing my property, my home, on the doorstep of foreclosure to jump into this and make it happen. And when you make a commitment, I mean, that was a huge commitment. People don't have to make that big of a commitment, but it's funny that, I mean, when you make a commitment like that, if you're serious, even if you don't have the means. You know, somebody says, hey, you know what, it's going to be $2,000, and you're like, I don't have $2,000. I mean, is there any way we can work something else out? Yada yada yada. It's like, no. You know what? If you want this, you'll figure out a way to come up with $2,000. Don't know how that's going to happen for you, but you know, if it's something that you really, really want, you'll figure it out. If it's not something that you want, I mean, and this is a test of your willingness to follow through and to actually be successful after you pay the $2,000. You know, if we say it's $2,000, you go, I ain't got $2,000, and you walk away and you go, well, guess I ain't doing that because I ain't got $2,000. Well, you know what? That's as far as you would have got anyway. So we just saved you $2,000, and and a whole lot of hassle and aggravation, not only for you but for us. You know, because we're gonna jump in, we're gonna spend a whole lot of our time trying to teach you, and you're just gonna be all like, yeah, 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 whatever, blah blah blah. You know, so we just saved everybody a whole lot of time and effort. But now, if we say it's $2,000, you're like, well, I don't have $2,000. We say, well, you know what? If you want it, go get $2,000. You're going to go figure out a way to get $2,000. And if you figured out a way to get $2,000 and you put your $2,000 in there and you start going and doing it, well, guess what? You're going to take that experience of figuring out a way to get $2,000, and you're going to figure out a way to do the next thing, and you're going to figure out a way to do the next thing, and you're going to continue to figure out a way to do the next thing that's going to take you to the success you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when people have to pay for something, they treat it with more respect. When people are giving something for free, put it this way. How many people smoke cigarettes? How many people consume unhealthy amounts of alcohol? How many people knowingly eat McDonald's every day, knowing that it's just saturated fat and cholesterol and sodium making that burger taste so good? How many people destroy their bodies with drugs? How many people never use their mind? And well, what I'm getting at is the one thing, probably the most important thing we have in our life and the most powerful thing we have, which makes us unique individuals, is our bodies and our minds. And body and mind are the most mistreated things out there. Just think about how many drug addicts there are, how many food addicts there are, people that are literally knowingly poisoning themselves every day. Why do I bring this up? Because they're destroying the one thing that's their most valuable asset. Why do you think that is? They didn't have to pay for it. They were born with it. It was given to them. Therefore, that's why I think people put the least amount of respect on their own bodies than they do on their material possessions that they had to pay for. That's just to kind of back up what Paul says there about, the person that's going to try it and get in for free versus the person that's like, I'm going to get into this program. I'm going to pay $2,000 and I'm going to figure out how to get this done because I want to get my $2,000 back. It's the same kind of concept. People don't respect what they're given for free. If they did, we wouldn't have so many fat, unhealthy, drug addict pieces of crap in this country.
That's an interesting thing you say there about people looking at people treat their bodies, which was given to them for free, compared to how they treat all their stuff, which they paid for. Yeah, I mean that's
it's when you think about it.
Huh?
It kind of blows my mind when I think about it.
Yeah, I mean it does. What is, besides your time, what is the second most precious thing that you have in this world? It's this right here, right? And you just abuse it and destroy it and break it down, and you wonder why everything hurts at the end of the day. But I don't know, there was something I was looking at that said, men really don't come to the age of thinking about sort of life and what it is and why they're here and how to be successful, and to really have a grasp on all these things until around like age 40. For some reason around that age, it's like we sort of wake up and and smell the roses sort of thing, and look around and realize that, hey, we've gone all this way into this life. And I mean, I had this at about age 44, gone all this way through this life, and where the hell am I now? I was at the end of shit creek, but but yeah, it's an interesting thing how we just go through willy-nilly. Just, I mean, and what does that come down to? It comes back to knowledge and education. What did we learn? What were we taught? Why don't we, treat our bodies the right way? I mean, and look at school. I mean, hey, at least back in the day, physical education was a freaking required course. Okay, you had to take it. You had to participate. You got asthma, take a lap. You got freaking, you got whatever it is. You got cerebral palsy, take a lap. It doesn't matter. You participate in physical education in this country. That's the bottom line. That's the way it was. Now it's like, oh, I have psoriasis. I can't be in PE. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, it's just like any excuse so the educational portion of how and why we do things that way is really what it all comes down to. The way we were brought up, or the way that we learned how to go through this life, and what we thought about, what, not to say mom and dad were bad people, but the food and the things that mom and dad did for you. How often did mom and dad take you to McDonald's as a treat? And then so as you grow up, this treat, you want more treats, right? That's what we want in life. We want treats. So you end up going to McDonald's like every day because it's a treat, and it becomes a habit, and then you just freaking do it. But you can do the same thing the opposite way too. I mean, anything you learn, you can do what you want to do, what you need to do, and you can make it a habit, and it can just become the way that you do things. And that's the whole difference between, getting the education and doing, opposed to getting the education and not doing.
That's absolutely right. It's funny. I bring this up just because of where habits can really destroy a person. When I was a child and we went to McDonald's or a Burger King or any sort of fast food restaurant, that was like a real treat. Like that was something special that my parents would do. The way I grew up, the habit was mom prepared a dinner and we sat down as a family with a home cooked meal every night. And every couple of weeks, and it would always be on a weekend, and typically on a Sunday, believe it or not, we could go get Happy Meals from McDonald's or Burger King. Fast forward to my life at about age 19 to 23, I was a little bit overweight, and I was actually kind of feeling run down and depressed a lot, even though I was a 20-year-old kid. But somewhere I started to make a habit in my life at that time of eating fast food just about every meal of the day. I also worked at a McDonald's for a little while, so that didn't help either. I bring this up because we talked about knowingly eating. I would literally make a joke about being so unhealthy as I'm shoving the unhealthy food into my face. And I bring this up because Paul just got me thinking about when is it when people take something that's like a treat, like an indulgence, and then it becomes an everyday thing. It's the same thing with drug addicts. We have a very addictive nature in this world as human beings, particularly in America, from what I've read and kind of studied. I don't know, it's just mind-blowing. I mean, overindulgence can become a habit, and it can destroy you.
I'll tell you what, you guys that might be watching this, you might think that we're sort of, a couple of goofballs here stumbling around with, what we're saying here and everything like that. And quite honestly, we are, because I don't know about you who's watching this, and I'm not quite sure about John here, but this is like a whole new revelations. So I mean, these are like being born right here live on Google Hangouts kinds of thoughts and inspiration for you guys. I just want to point that out. So I mean, this is stuff that's just coming to us right now. I mean, this is not something that we pre-planned yesterday that we would, present this today, and we're stumbling around here because we didn't rehearse this good enough. This is live. This is actually what's going on at this very moment, and this is a very, very interesting concept because, yeah, you know what, like you just talked about, in my family, it was kind of the same way as far as, we ate dinner at home, 7 days a week, 30 days a month, and you would get that treat every now and then. I mean, obviously wasn't that way, 100%, but fast food in the day, as a kid when fast food first came out, it was a treat. Nobody didn't. Maybe, maybe if back in the day, fast food came out, right, and our parents would have freaking said, "We're eating McDonald's every day," and they would have taken us to McDonald's every day, and then only on Sunday did we get the opportunity to eat a home cooked meal. Maybe we'd be maybe we'd be more healthy, conscious people in the world today instead of being fast food hogs. Because like you said, I mean, it's like all of a sudden, you're at a very young age. This is a treat. It's a treat. It's a treat. You only get it every now and then. It builds up this craving and this want and this desire and this yearning for it. And so now, you get a little older, you get a paper route, or, you get a job bussing tables at the local pizza place or whatever it is. Now you've got some of your own money. What the hell do you want to spend it on? I want to spend it on that shit that I can't get all the time.
That's funny you say that. Maybe that's what I need to do with my kids. I just need to stuff unhealthy food down their throats every day, and then make it a treat to have the healthy meal. And then when they get older, then they'll always seek out the healthy meal. That's a little bit of a reverse psychology, huh? A different way of looking at
it. Well, as we talk about on the show, I mean, the reverse psychology thing works in a lot of ways. We talk a lot about negative phrasing on questions to people. When we're talking to sellers and things like that, and phrasing things in that negative fashion, so that it gets them to thinking, well, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean I wouldn't want to do that? Of course I would want to do that. So, and that's it right there. It's like, here, eat this fast food and continue eating this fast food, and because you don't want to eat this good healthy food that we have at home. Well, wait. Well, why wouldn't I want to eat that good healthy food at home? Why do you keep making me eat this fast food crap? I don't know. It might work. You want to do a social experiment on your children?
or you could have. There was a video I saw. It was quite crazy. This kid was about 4 years old. He weighed over 100 pounds, and he was a big, angry, fat slob demanding food. Oh, I think it was on I think this family was on Oprah. And the mom, for lack of a better term, was a fat pig, a fat, disgusting pig with no self-respect whatsoever and no confidence. And honestly, no business being a parent, in my opinion. Gosh, I wish I can remember how to tell you, even to Google it. But the child was fed hamburgers and McDonald's food every day from like 2 to 6 years old or whatever they were. And the kid was just like an angry, demanding, fat slob. And literally, just to shut the kid up, the mother would literally feed him hamburgers like an animal. And he was up to like 20 hamburgers a day, 25 hamburgers a day.
Yeah. Well, in his defense, they are small.
No, I'm talking Big Macs and quarter pounders. No, I don't know. I think they could have been the doubles of the regular cheeseburger, but still. So, you could, the social experience could go horribly wrong.
I would say that many in a day, I guarantee you they were coming off the dollar menu.
Yeah. It was almost like every time the kids cried, you would just jam a hamburger down his throat.
That's a scary thing, you know. Obviously the obviously the plan there wouldn't probably be a good experiment on the children after looking at that obvious experiment gone bad there, the Frankenstein experiment. But
I will say this, though, in defense of the child throwing the tantrums, they've actually shown that the endorphins and released in your brain when eating food that's high in saturated fat, sugars, and sodium, it triggers a part of your brain that reacts very much to like when you do cocaine or drink or consume caffeine or opiates. So it does have an addictive quality on the brain. And when you're a child with a less developed brain, you know, they could be doing severe long-term permanent damage to that kid's brain just by eating in the food. So I just want to throw in a disclaimer so nobody tries the Frankenstein experiment and then sues Paul and I. I'm telling you right now, I strongly advise against it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's processed. I mean, it's not real. It didn't come from nature. Okay. And I mean, just like feeding your kid Ritalin or whatever drugs that they're feeding kids these days. I don't know, but it's the same thing. You know, it's a process. It's a man-made thing. Those hamburgers aren't real. There's very little realness in those things. You know what I mean? The cheese is like plastic. It's probably got more plastic qualities in it than it has cheese qualities in it. But regardless, you know, it is like a drug. Anything that is, you know, foreign to the human body, which, you know, the human body is a part of nature, right? I mean, nature serves nature, and you should be eating things that are as close to as nature intended in the first place. And when you get outside of that, yeah, it's like a drug. It's a foreign object to the body, and at first the body will want to fight it off, but then after a while, you know, the body gets accustomed to it. Then the body starts wanting it and craving it, you know, and that's where the addictive quality comes in. But anyway, how did we get off on all that when we were talking about real estate here? What does that got to do with real estate? It all comes back, like I said, to the conditioning of your mindset and where you're coming from, and the education and getting education and actually using the education, actually doing something, and the power behind, you know, being forced to actually, you know, pay money or whatever it is, but to actually do it. And you say, well, wait a second, what about all those people in the room that run to the back of the room and pay the $60,000 and don't do anything? Accountability. Somebody there at your side to push you and to keep you doing it is a big thing too, because if you look at yourself, and if you're the only person that you have to be accountable to, you know, you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you got to do this today. And you can go, oh, well, you know what? I would do that today, but my favorite TV show is on today, or the NASCAR race is on today, or the football game's on today. So I can't do it today. And you're the only person that has to answer to that. It's very easy for you to not do. And that's where people get going in this life, is in their not doing area. There's a thing that we're running over time here, so I'm going to get out of here. But that's kind of what we're talking about, is the whole idea of doing and being part of a team, so to speak, getting your education in a manner that it's hands-on, that it's physical, that it's live, that it's right there with you. You're one-on-one, you're hand-in-hand, you're shoulder-in-shoulder, arm-in-arm, doing this stuff together, opposed to, you know, you can get almost so much stuff online and virtually, et cetera, and so on. But, you know, it still comes down to you having to do it. And it's so much easier for you to do it when you got somebody else next to you helping you do it. So, John, give us a final word and quick it out of here.
My final word is, you know what? Just thinking back on all the different topics and things we discussed and where this hangout went and everything like that. I mean, it's very important to really focus on improving yourself and taking stock of your most important assets, which in my opinion is your mind, your body, followed by your time. We touched a little bit about, was it this hangout or the last hangout, Paul, where we brought up the whole concept of, that old saying, it's better to give than to receive. I think that was the last hangout.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just throwing that thought into here that it's just as good to give as it is to receive. You want to be in a position to give, but you want to be in a position to receive, better yourself, and really take stock of your most important assets, which is your time, your body, and your mind. And you know what? Those things come to you for free. And because they are given to us for free, we're the most neglectful with those things. And we need to stop that, because that's, I think, the first key to improving is taking stock of yourself. So with that, we always close out these hangouts with the Napoleon Hill prayer, which goes, "O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting in the power to control and to direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire." So with that, go out there, make it a great day, and we'll see you on Freedom Friday.
How about this, John? Put yourself into a receiving position so you can develop yourself into a giving position. And with that, we'll see you back here on Freedom Friday.